Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more WWE 2k15 Universe Mode. My name is BrendenPlayz. This is it, folks. This is the final Raw of the WWE 2k15 series, and this is the final Raw before Wrestlemania. This is going to be a big show. Wrestlemania is going to be huge. So before we get to Wrestlemania, this is what we have in store for you guys. Cesaro and Kid, the tag champs, team up with the United States champion Dolph Ziggler to take on Mark Henry and Kane, and our Raw GM, The Rock. That is going to be one hell of a matchup. Neville's in action, coming up against Xavier Woods. Kingston will join Woods in his corner as well. I guess we're looking more beyond WrestleMania with this type of matchup right here. The Ascension coming up against the Perfect Truth team as well. Naomi goes one-on-one with Nikki Bella. And that should be a good one. Last time Naomi got the win. Will she do it again? Ryback must team up with Seth Rollins to take on Triple H and Randy Orton. And a lot of bad blood in between all four of these men. Seth Rollins, of course, involved in the big title matchup. And speaking of that one, what about this, folks? Our main event. Roman Reigns has Paul Heyman in his corner. And he'll face Dean Ambrose one-on-one just 6 days away from WrestleMania. That is huge. And we'll be playing that one later on. So, a six-man tag team matchup. It was Cesaro and Kid and Ziggler, the team with all the gold, walking away with the victory. Will that be the case at WrestleMania? I'm not sure. Neville picks up a victory. The Ascension get a win as well. Naomi versus Nikki Bella is going to be none other than Naomi picking up the victory. So, the number one contender doing quite well. And we'll go check out our other two matchups. So, here comes the big guy, folks. Ryback, who has a bit of a chip on his shoulder. And Ryback teaming up tonight with Seth Rollins. And Ryback just is a little bit pissed off. I mean, Triple H has got the better of him in recent times. I think Ryback just wants a bit of revenge. WrestleMania, Triple H and Ryback one-on-one, of course. And Ryback gets his chance to kind of get revengeance after a couple of brutal assaults not too long ago. But it seems as though Ryback's coming out here tonight. He's got a bit of a pre-match message for Triple H. So we'll go check in to see what he has to say. So in 6 days' time, the big guy steps in the ring with the cerebral assassin, the Game, Triple H. You know, this time last year, I was the World Heavyweight Champion. I was on top of the world, dominating SmackDown like nobody has ever done, and no one has done since. I was the man, but now here I am, facing a washed-up has-been, a man who just wants to take my spot and take the spotlight away from me in Triple H. And this all started because Triple H and we had some beef back last year that never really got resolved. And people want to know my side of the story. I never really told it. My situation with Triple H is basically this. Last year, Triple H brought me in. He signed me over from SmackDown to Raw. I was the world champion. I was destined to have a title shot on SmackDown. But Triple H insisted that he draft me over. Triple H promised me the world. Triple H told me that he was going to make me Raw's #1 guy. Did that happen? No, it did not. Instead, Triple H was too busy worried about his golden boy Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton. He was too busy caught up in all these other different affairs that he forgot about me. And instead, what happened to me? I had no help, no assistance, no guidance, nothing. Triple H, everything he promised me, he never delivered on. Instead, he was too busy focused on himself. And I started to work my way up. I left the authority and I had a chance to go back on my own. And slowly and slowly and slowly, I went from a guy who couldn't buy a match to now back in the main event and one step away from a title shot. And just when I'm about to get that title shot, Triple H takes the spotlight away from me again and decides to take my spot in the chamber and hurt me physically to the point where I could barely get in the Elimination Chamber match. I was not even close to 100% in that match. So where am I now? Wrestling Triple H at WrestleMania, a match that I personally do not want, don't care about, but Triple H, the only thing that's keeping him relevant, the only way that he could possibly get a WrestleMania match is from me. So now I'm stuck with Triple H at WrestleMania, no title shot. So Triple H, I'm not going to be in a great mood come WrestleMania time. So, I'm going to say this right now. You're going to get hurt, you're going to pay, and you're going to lose. And I'm going to take back what's mine, and that's the top spot here on Monday Night Raw. Well, it looks as though Triple H didn't take too kindly to those comments. Ryback very frustrated with Triple H and venting here tonight, basically accusing Triple H of being the downfall of Ryback's career in the past 12 months. I don't know how Triple H is going to respond to that one. But, you know, Ryback does have a fair point. Ever since joining with the Authority, Ryback's career went down and down and down. And it's ever since he's been moved away from that, it's taken him a long time to rebuild. And he's almost back to where he was. But as soon as you get the feeling that Ryback was about to become a potential WWE Champion or #1 contender, well, Triple H is back and I suppose takes that all away from him once again. So we'll have to wait and see how Triple H responds to Ryback. And what will he say? Here you are again, Ryback. You're blaming everybody but yourself. The only man you have to blame is you. You know, Ryback, I brought you into the Authority. I brought you over from SmackDown. I wanted you on my show because I knew you were damn good. I knew that you could be the top guy here on Raw. But it was the wrong time and wrong place. There was just too many guys ahead of you, and you just quite simply were not good enough to hang with them. And now, there's so many other guys that's gone ahead of you, and to be honest, even me. WrestleMania isn't about getting a spot in the card. It's not about competing for the paycheck, for the payday, for an opportunity to wrestle in front of 80,000 people. It's about me and you settling a difference that never got settled. It's about me and you putting this to bed. It's about me and you going one-on-one at the grandest stage of them all and proving just who exactly is the better out of the two of us. You want to be a legend, Ryback? Well, you have to beat one, and I know that you are good enough to beat me. But at WrestleMania, I'm bringing the A game. The Cerebral Assassin will be unleashed again. So if you are as good as you think you are, then you will put me down 1, 2, 3 at WrestleMania. But Ryback, make no mistake about it. If you thought the last 12 months were bad, wait until you get in the ring with me. Because at WrestleMania, I will not take any prisoners. I will not go easy on you. I will make sure that I give you the fight of your life. And at WrestleMania, you and I will settle this once and for all. And the hand of the best man will be raised. And I guarantee you, Ryback, that hand will be mine. There is no way you are walking out of WrestleMania as the victor. Well, there you go, folks. Triple H and Ryback have spoke their piece just 6 days away from WrestleMania. And here comes the former WWE Champion Seth Rollins teaming up with Ryback tonight. This should be a good one, folks. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one goes about. I mean, right now, you know, Seth Rollins, his mind has to be focused on the big triple threat matchup at hand, but definitely tonight, an opportunity just to gain a bit of momentum, perhaps picking up the victory here tonight against Randy Orton or Triple H will certainly give him the momentum heading in towards WrestleMania. And speaking of Randy Orton, here he is. Here comes Triple H's partner, the former WWE Champion in his own right, Randy Orton. And speaking of Randy Orton, he was a pivotal part in, I suppose, the dissension of Ryback last year. Randy Orton was the man who beat Ryback a number of times last year and really kind of helped cause the downfall of the big guy. Ryback coming in from SmackDown last year, and immediately just struggled. And he was thrown straight into the deep end. He came in with a lot of high expectations. He came in from being the World Heavyweight Champion, and he had to face Randy Orton in successive pay-per-views, and Randy Orton just kept on beating him. There was nothing that Ryback could do. Randy Orton was just in the form of his life, just unbelievably good, and Randy Orton was just running through everybody at the time, and I suppose it really was the wrong time, wrong place. I mean, Ryback was the right guy, but he just came at the wrong time, and you know, perhaps Raw wasn't the right place to be for him. You know, perhaps he probably should have stayed on SmackDown, but unfortunately for him, the draft didn't go his way. And I suppose Ryback is probably wishing that he never left SmackDown, because who knows what Ryback's career could have been. You know, Ryback could have won a championship again, could have been world champion right now. Who knows? Ryback was unstoppable over on SmackDown. So unfortunately for Ryback, it's just been a tough number of months. In comes Randy Orton coming after Ryback now. And so lots of history between all four of these men, really. I mean, all four of these men have faced each other a number of times here in Universe Mode on Monday Night Raw. Randy Orton taking down Ryback right there. So, you know, I suppose speaking of the draft, I mean, a lot of people have been wondering what's going on with the draft. Is there going to be one? Just to kind of give you guys a bit of heads up, I mean, a lot of people are kind of confused. The Slammy Awards aren't a separate episode. They're just a extended special edition, you know, just a separate upload. It won't be any matches or anything like that. It's just a highlights episode, okay? And the first episode of 2K16 will be the draft. So, yeah, basically it's just a big night, lots of matches, and it's just going to be a complete shake-up of the show. Each brand will have a number of draft picks. On next week's next show, the next episode of Universe Mode, on this week's SmackDown, there will be a matchup to determine who will represent Monday Night Raw for the first draft pick. I've decided the pre-show of WrestleMania, and I got this idea in the comment section from my last video, so if this was you who suggested it, thank you very much. I didn't have a pre-show planned, and I wanted to do a draft pick matchup, but I didn't really, you know, I wanted to do like a Raw vs SmackDown match of some sorts, but I just didn't really get around to it. There wasn't much build to it. But I've decided the pre-show, the first draft pick of this year's draft will be up for grabs. And Batista from SmackDown, he'll face somebody from Raw. And it's either going to be Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, or Sheamus. On the next episode of Main Event, there'll be a triple threat matchup, and we'll see who will represent Raw there. SmackDown GM was happy with Batista, didn't really want anyone else to qualify, because I suppose all of his biggest stars are already tied up in other matches, and Batista really was just the best pick. Whereas Raw has a few guys, you know, Sheamus, Orton, and Bryan, who don't have a match scheduled at WrestleMania. And of course, I mean, Daniel Bryan and Sheamus have a lot of bad blood, so that should be a very interesting one as well. Some unfinished business between those two. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that one comes about as well. So stay tuned for that one. That'll be on the next episode of Universe Mode, the final episode before WrestleMania. So we'll determine the draft picking matchup participants there. So the draft is always awesome, but hey, let's focus on WrestleMania right now. Seth Rollins in there with Triple H. And Triple H rolling out of harm's way. Triple H and Ryback one-on-one at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins versus Ambrose versus Reigns in a triple threat matchup at WrestleMania to main event WrestleMania as well. Seth Rollins looking to get his championship back that he lost at the Elimination Chamber. And in the Chamber match, it was down to Rollins and Rollins just couldn't hang on after such a long title reign. Rollins just had nothing left. And when you get an Elimination Chamber, wait a minute, Rollins flying there! A moonsault off the second rope. Beautiful stuff there from Rollins, showing his athleticism. There, and he follows it up with another one. Standing moonsault this time. And Rollins, I just think, had nothing left in the tank after being a champion for so long and competing at the highest level for such a long time. When you get an Elimination Chamber match, it's so difficult to survive. And Orton comes in now, and Rollins, I just don't think he had enough left in the tank to do it. And unfortunately for him, he now finds himself championship-less as Randy whips Rollins into the corner. Randy's had a tough number of months. You know, ever since losing to Rollins at TLC, Randy's just been struggling to really get going ever since, and potentially not having a match at WrestleMania. That'll be a big thing for Orton, considering he won the championship last year at WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar. He defeated the Beast, the unstoppable monster in Brock Lesnar. And Randy Orton has, I suppose, he's had a big year. I suppose, in my personal opinion, I think Randy Orton might be right up there in contention for Raw Superstar of the Year. I think his latter end of his year was not as great, but certainly he was right up there as one of the best. Rollins trying to get to the cover. So we're going to take a quick short break, and we'll come back with Universe Mode right after this short little clip we got here. Ryback tags in, Triple H tags in. We'll be back after this. The biggest event of the year is almost here. This year's WrestleMania, the second in the series, will be the biggest episode in the history of Universe Mode. Every championship will be on the line, blood will be spilled, and rivalries will be settled. The stars of tomorrow will be born as WrestleMania comes your way very soon. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss it. Alright, welcome back, folks, to more Monday Night Raw. Triple H and Seth Rollins back in the ring now. Triple H striking away on Rollins, takes him down with a big right hand. So a big victory here for Triple H would do him wonders heading in towards his huge match against Ryback. Suppose Triple H kind of has the upper hand against Ryback in the big scheme of things. Now, Rollins trying to pin Triple H, not going to happen. Randy Orton straight in there and strikes quickly like the Viper normally does. Rollins, he's been absolutely unstoppable for such a long time. Wait a minute! Rollins with a pedigree! Well, that's ironic. A pedigree to Triple H. a move that Triple H has made famous. Rollins has started using it in recent times, and now he gets a chance to hit it on Triple H. What a move there by Rollins. Triple H is all but done at the moment. Can Triple H recover from this? How much has Triple H got left? He's going to tag out now? Yes, he will. Randy Orton now coming back in. And Rollins, I mean, he has beaten Randy Orton so many times, I have lost count. I mean, it was getting ridiculous. I mean, every time these guys faced, it was Rollins beating him every single time. Randy Orton since has picked up a couple of victories, but still, you know, the margin is just ridiculous. I mean, these two guys, I mean, it's just not even a fair contest. Jeez, that was close as well. If Triple H didn't come in there and save the matchup, I thought for sure Rollins would add another win to that column there. Randy Orton now trying to get Rollins back up. Instead, decides to send him back down with a big-time DDT. Now comes in Triple H as well. Triple H the game and Seth Rollins. Triple H, oh geez, that was a ferocious right hand there to Seth Rollins. Sending him down now with the leg sweep. Ryback watching on. Ryback, you can see he's already feeling the effects of this match as well. It's been a tough contest between all four of these men. And it's going to be a huge match coming up next as well, as it's going to be Reigns and Ambrose. Big time spinebuster, double A spinebuster, not going to be enough as Ryback gets in there and saves the day. Jeez, that was close, wasn't it? Triple H doing everything he can to keep Seth Rollins down. Triple H now going for it again. The cover! Oh, jeez, that was very close. I thought for sure that was it. I thought Ryback was going to come in there and save the day, but Ryback was very slow there. I suppose he probably doesn't even really care. He's already faced enough of Triple H for one night, probably. Wait a minute now! Here we go! Rollins again with the pedigree! That might be it now. Close to the ropes. Randy Orton's there anyway. It's not going to be it, but the second time on Triple H, the game, the pedigree has been hit by Rollins. Now trying to put him away. Orton right there again. Jeez, Randy Orton's right on his ball, right on the game here. Just really racing into the ring. And now Rollins sending down Triple H again. Standing moonsault as well. Rollins on fire right now. Triple H struggling. Randy Orton's just kind of keeping Triple H in this one. And who would have thought Triple H and Randy Orton teaming up? I would never thought I would ever see the day. I mean, you go back to last year, these two men were having classic battles. You go back to Money in the Bank. Triple H and Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. What a match that was. Certainly one of my favorite matches of the year, and we'll definitely be voting on that when Slammy Awards come around after WrestleMania. But it's surprising that these two have to put their differences aside for one night, at least for tonight only. Triple H with a pedigree on Ryback. Wow, that might be it. Triple H picking up the victory just days away from WrestleMania. Well, that's how you hit a pedigree, Seth. But it's not enough to put Ryback away thanks to Rollins getting involved. But Ryback, I tell you what, he's in some trouble and he realizes it. Triple H wants a breather as well. In comes Seth. In comes Randy. Now what's Seth going to deliver to Orton now? Here we go. Seth! Oh, I thought Randy was going to counter that, but Seth was good enough to hit the DDT. This might be it. 2. Yes, he got it! Ryback distracting and striking Triple H, not allowing him to get to the cover, and Orton has been pinned by the former WWE Champion, Seth Rollins. What a victory for Seth. Wow. That was unexpected. I thought Randy was definitely going to kick out of that, but he definitely was good enough on this occasion to pick it up and come away with the victory. Alrighty guys, we're going to move on to our next matchup. And it's going to be Roman Reigns coming up against Dean Ambrose. Reigns, the WWE Champion, Paul Heyman alongside of him. And we are going to hear from Paul Heyman at WrestleMania before the big matchup. We're going to see Paul Heyman's thoughts and opinions on this current situation between Reigns and Ambrose and Rollins at WrestleMania, and who he does think is going to win that one. And that will be before their matchup at WrestleMania. We're going to get an exclusive interview with Paul Heyman. And I want to know what Paul Heyman's decision. Why did he bring in Roman Reigns of all people? Why Reigns? And why has he kind of turned his back on Dean Ambrose? Why has he done what he's done? Why is he kind of doing everything he can to take down Ambrose? I don't get it. And I guess we're going to find out at WrestleMania. But Ambrose The Royal Rumble winner earned the right to have a championship matchup. Unfortunately, he wanted it to be one-on-one. Instead, he gets Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman helping Seth Rollins get an opportunity against Ambrose, and I suppose basically allowing Rollins to join it and make it a triple threat matchup and make life even harder and more difficult for Dean Ambrose. Seth Rollins basically said that Paul Heyman gave him the opportunity to do it. Paul Heyman gave him the opportunity to be in the WrestleMania main event in exchange of trying to take out Ambrose. Paul Heyman wants to make sure that Ambrose does not walk out as champion. Paul Heyman despises Dean Ambrose, and the last thing that Heyman would want is an Ambrose victory. Certainly tonight, if Ambrose beats his client, Paul Heyman will be very, very worried indeed. Reigns and Ambrose now battling away. Reigns and Ambrose locked up now. So Dean Ambrose, doesn't really have much personal grief with Roman Reigns. I think it's been more towards Seth Rollins, but I suppose that's really the attention has been turned to Reigns in recent times. Of course, these two men had an epic battle a few weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, and it was Reigns hitting a number of spears to Ambrose, and many of us believe that Ambrose probably wasn't even going to make it to WrestleMania. I don't even think Ambrose is 100%. He was having bruised ribs, almost cracked a rib as well. So Ambrose, his rib cage has been gone through the ringer, that is for sure. So if Reigns can hit a couple of spears tonight, that might be enough to send that rib cage from being not exactly pleasant to in a bit of trouble. So if Ambrose does not win tonight, Ambrose might not even make it to WrestleMania, and if he does, he might not be 100%. And Ambrose has that shirt on, probably covering up the bruises on that rib cage, not allowing Reigns to see it and not allowing Reigns to expose it. Thank goodness for that. But Reigns certainly doing a lot of damage to Ambrose a few weeks ago, and that's exactly what Paul Heyman wanted Reigns to do. He wanted Reigns to be the ass kicker. He wanted Reigns to be the human wrecking ball. He wanted Reigns to be his assassin. He wants Ambrose out of the picture. He's got Roman Reigns to do it, and he's going to promise Roman Reigns the world and everything else Paul Heyman can deliver. We all know Paul Heyman. He can, be very persistent and very persuasive. And Ambrose obviously fell for the deal. But look at the way, Paul Heyman did help Ambrose out. Ambrose went from a struggling guy on Monday Night Raw. He came to SmackDown, and Heyman aligned himself with Ambrose, and Ambrose became the Intercontinental Champion and then won the Royal Rumble with Paul Heyman by his side. And now, immediately, with Paul Heyman by Roman Reigns' side, Reigns has become the WWE Champion. So whilst Paul Heyman may have bad intentions, he cannot deny that he's helped these two men in this ring right now achieve their maximum potential, that is for sure. And of course, Paul Heyman was alongside Brock Lesnar as well a couple years ago when Lesnar was on top of the world. Paul Heyman was right there when Lesnar was going through the longest reigning WWE Championship reign in the history of Universe Mode. So, Paul Heyman has had a hell of a lot of success here in Universe Mode. You cannot deny that. Reigns trying to make Ambrose tap, not going to happen. But I just feel as though the way Paul Heyman's gone about this one is wrong in my opinion. And Ambrose has every right to be pretty pissed off at Paul Heyman and now pissed off at Reigns and Seth Rollins. Ambrose just wants to fulfill his destiny, fulfill his dreams. Ambrose, he left Raw, he went to SmackDown for the sole reason of trying to recover and turn his career around. He tried to be a single star here in Raw. It just didn't happen. He wanted to go to SmackDown and build himself up for any potential chance to come back to Raw and show everyone that he in fact is good enough to be a singles guy. And at WrestleMania, he has that chance. And if Ambrose can win at WrestleMania, well, he'll finally have achieved that after a couple years of, just struggling. Ambrose has yet to win a title here in Universe Mode. It's just been a tough time for Ambrose. He's had a number of chances. He tried to win that US Championship a number of times and just never could do it. Just could never win it. But thanks to SmackDown, and I suppose thanks to Paul Heyman, Ambrose has now become one of the top stars here on SmackDown and now on Monday Night Raw. So Ambrose has such a great chance at WrestleMania, but Roman Reigns is the man he has to go through. And right now it's a close battle between the two. And Ambrose trying to pick Reigns up for a suplex, and he's got a big time vertical suplex. Can he find the cover and perhaps put Reigns away? And decides to go after a little bit more offense, and it's probably cost him. Reigns able to put Ambrose down quite comfortably there. Ambrose coming back for more though, swinging neck breaker. WrestleMania, you have to add in Seth Rollins into the equation as well, who did just pick up a big-time victory as well. So it's going to be a hell of a matchup. All three men are probably the three best we have right now here in Universe Mode, or at least right up there. You know, Rollins has been probably the Raw Superstar of the Year. I'd say here Ziggler is probably going to win that award. I mean, a lot of you guys have been very split on who you think who you think's going to win that one. And Ambrose might not win SmackDown Superstar of the Year because he wasn't really on SmackDown for all that long, but he certainly made a hell of an impact in such a short period of time. I think Ambrose could win Breakout Superstar of the Year. That's potentially Ambrose's best chance of winning an award. So both guys have just had such a prolific year. Reigns himself has had a very tough year. He's struggled for a long time, but things are starting to click for him now, and things are looking up for Roman Reigns. The big dog working away right now on Ambrose. Here we go. Reigns trying to win this one. Jeez, that was close again. 2.5 count. Paul Heyman thought his client had it done, and he would have popped the champagne right there and celebrated, because Paul Heyman would love Reigns to pick up a victory over Ambrose just days away from WrestleMania and halt all the momentum that Ambrose has had. I mean, Ambrose has had a tough number of weeks, that's for sure. You know, he's had the Shield coming after him, and the Shield has been successful. And he's had Seth Rollins beat him, and then he got beaten up. He's been beaten up by Roman Reigns. It's just been a very, very tough number of weeks for Ambrose. And the build-up towards WrestleMania wasn't the one he wanted. He thought he'd probably come over from Raw, from SmackDown, and continue just all the momentum that he had from SmackDown, but that has not been the case. Ambrose has just been struggling, taken down there by Reigns. And Ambrose heading in towards WrestleMania, you know, going off, you know, the recent weeks, you'd have to say his chances of winning are, in fact, quite slim. You know, Reigns and Rollins probably have to be the two, you know, favorites to win it. One of those two. Perhaps you might have to go in favor of Reigns as well. Ambrose hits the elbow drop there on Roman Reigns. Ambrose really would need a victory right here now, I think, to kind of convince anybody that he can pick up the win. But Ambrose has been dealing with both Reigns, Rollins, and Heyman. He's had his work cut out for him. Coming off the top. Oh! Reigns! He caught him! Slamming him down! Wow, Roman Reigns catching Ambrose in midair and hitting the knee into the injured ribs as well. This is not good for Ambrose. Now Ambrose still in it though, planting down Reigns. Very close encounter between these two men right now, and Ambrose wants the pin, and of course Paul Heyman coming along and getting himself involved. Of course Paul Heyman wants to stop Ambrose from winning this. DDT! I think the referee has told Heyman to get the hell out of here. He's not wanted here. And now Ambrose is looking to put Roman Reigns away. This might be the end of Roman Reigns. No Heyman to save him. No worries. Reigns still in it. Ambrose hits back himself. But Reigns again with another counter, setting down Ambrose. It's Roman Reigns still in control. Ambrose is fighting back. Ambrose doing everything he can against all the odds of trying to beat Roman Reigns. What a huge win this would be for Ambrose. A huge confidence boost heading in towards WrestleMania. But now it's Reigns coming back after the attack on Ambrose. But it's Ambrose hitting back with a clothesline. Launching everything he had left at Reigns. Jeez. Again, that was very close. I don't know how Reigns kicked out of that one. And Spinebuster! A moment of separation. That's exactly what Ambrose needed. A chance to catch his breath, perhaps. What's he thinking about now? Is he looking towards those ropes? He's going into the corner. Alright, he's deciding against it by the looks of it. And Ambrose stomping away now. Oh, look up. Look out, Reigns. A big kick right to the midsection for Roman Reigns as well. Is this enough for Ambrose? Kicks out at two, though. Roman Reigns still in this one. Ambrose is trying his hardest to win, trying his hardest to finally get back at Heyman here. Just days away from WrestleMania, days away from the biggest match of his life. Ambrose taken down with a suplex, and now Reigns was thinking about the spear. He's going to have to wait a little bit. Ambrose getting back to his feet before Reigns was really ready. What's Reigns thinking about now? Reigns, one more spear, that could be enough to shatter the ribcage of Ambrose. And now Reigns sending down Ambrose. Huge move there. This probably will be it. Can Ambrose kick out? Oh, he just does it. I thought that might have been it. I thought Ambrose just had nothing left. Oh, here we go, inside cradle. Here we go. 2. Yes, he got it. Reigns picks up a sneaky victory. It wasn't defiant, it wasn't all that great, but Reigns has done enough to pick up a win and survive and get the momentum heading in towards WrestleMania. Well, there you go. Reigns was dominating Ambrose, but Ambrose just kept on kicking out, kept on fighting, but Reigns, he just held that leg tight, and Ambrose kicked out probably at 3.5. And Reigns has done enough to pick up the win over Ambrose. And wait a minute, Reigns isn't done yet. Reigns wants a little bit more of Ambrose, stopping away and kicking those rib cage, those injured ribs in the rib cage of Ambrose. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the final Raw before WrestleMania. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button for me. Let's try something crazy. This is huge. Can we hit 8 likes? That's right, 8 likes. Can we hit that before WrestleMania? That would be amazing. If we hit 8 likes, I'll upload the next episode of Universe Mode for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next video.